We have some incredible breaking news, and it's not incredible because it is exposing the rampant corruption that is taking place every single day within the Trump administration. We know that's the case, and we fucking hate it. It's incredible breaking news because later in this video, we are going to have the opportunity to dance on the political grave of one of the worst people surrounding Donald Trump, someone who is not just ugly outside because he looks like a thumb, and you might know who I'm talking about, but inside this person is sick and vile as well, which is why the FBI's criminal cover-up of his bribery is going to destroy this administration and his life. We're getting to it all and this breaking news from NBC. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into which of the Trump stooges the FBI just got caught covering, I want to start with a call out of that Trump stooge from Gavin Newsom right here.
Unmarked cars, people en masse, people quite literally disappearing, no due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights. Immigrants have rights, and we have the right to stand up and push back, and that's what we're doing here today. This is a disgrace. This is an outrage, what we have allowed to happen in this country. And I could not be more proud of this legislature, the legislative authors, to the community demanding more from all of us at this moment to push back. I'll be signing a bill, the first in the nation, saying enough. ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
This administration is filled with the most vile people in the country who treat immigrants coming to this country, loving this country, building this country as less than. They strip away their humanity. They seek to fundamentally other them. That is the climate that has been built by Donald Trump's administration. They want us to be afraid. They want us to be angry. They want us to be as hateful as they are. And one person who stands out above the rest in just how disgusting and vile they are, which is funny because you might be thinking Stephen Miller, and they actually do look alike, is Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar, who has been the biggest example of a fake tough guy in this administration, not only because he has worked to make Donald Trump's disgusting immigration agenda incredibly unpopular, but he always likes to go on Fox and puff his chest, which is easy to do because he's a big old fatso. But Tom Homan then immediately crumbles every single time when met with opposition, like AOC did right here.
What we are seeing is a pattern where ICE is breaking the law. We have the detention of a U.S. citizen who has been detained by immigration officials. We have ICE here that has also blamed and arrested U.S. citizens for being simply suspected of being an immigrant, largely because of their appearance. In January, a Chicago-based U.S.-born citizen, Julio Noriega, was arrested by ICE and held in custody for over 10 hours. In April, a Florida Highway Patrol officer pulled over Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez, a United States-born citizen, and arrested him on suspicion of being in the country illegally. He had his real ID, his Social Security card, his mother presented his birth certificate, and they still didn't let him go. In May, U.S. citizen Leonardo Garcia Venegas was filming an ICE raid. He was arrested by ICE. In May, a veteran and U.S. citizen who is Puerto Rican.
So we know Tom Homan, he's a fake tough guy. We know this administration wants to carry out the most disgusting, immoral, and illegal mass deportation plan in American history, and we know it's failed. It fundamentally has just failed. But what we didn't know is that they weren't just covering for Tom Homan's bad policy and his marble-mouthed poor communication. No, they were also covering Tom Homan's criminality in a new report from NBC News exposing what was covered up in this administration and spelling the end of Tom Homan's career. Tom Homan was investigated for accepting $50,000 from undercover FBI agents. Trump DOJ shut it down. The FBI and justice officials closed the investigation, which a Justice Department appointee had called a deep state probe in early 2025. In an undercover operation last year, the FBI recorded Tom Homan, now the White House border czar, accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he could help the agents, who were posing as business executives, when government contracts in a second Trump administration, according to multiple people familiar with the probe and internal documents reviewed by MSNBC. The FBI and the Justice Department plan to wait to see whether Homan would deliver on his alleged promise once he became the nation's top immigration official, but the case indefinitely stalled soon after Donald Trump became president again in January, according to 6 sources familiar with the matter in recent weeks. Trump appointees officially closed the investigation after FBI Director Kash Patel requested a status update on the case, 2 people said. It's unclear what reasons FBI and Justice Department officials gave for shutting down the investigation, but a Trump Justice Department appointee called the case a deep state probe in early 2025, and no further investigative steps were taken. On September 20th, 2024, with hidden cameras recording the scene at a meeting spot in Texas, Homan accepted $50,000 in bills, according to an internal summary of the case and sources. The federal investigation was launched in western Texas in the summer of 2024 after a subject in a separate investigation claimed Homan was soliciting payments in exchange for awarding contracts should Trump win the presidential election, according to an internal Justice Department summary of the probe reviewed by MSNBC and people familiar with the case. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas, working with the FBI, asked the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section to join its ongoing probe into the border czar and former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement Tom Homan and others based on evidence of payment from FBI undercover agents in exchange for facilitating future contracts related to border enforcement. It is always the fucking grift. It is always the grift. That is what these people are after. It is more money for themselves. Sure, they are sick, twisted individuals who love punishing people who they view as their political opponents. They enjoy the cruelty of attacking immigrants, breaking up communities. That's what they like to do because they are deeply evil people who we should reopen Alligator Alcatraz for when this administration is over. Tom Homan, you get a cell. Kristi Noem, we're taking away your makeup and your filler. You get a cell. Stephen Miller, I feel like maybe we should just like send you to Mars. I don't know. He looks like an alien. He's got like the big ass head and his suits don't fit. I feel like there's like some gravitational force there. It's because they're like the fabric's repelled. But to get to what matters in this case, which isn't just like physical descriptions of why I'm so like disgusted visually by members of the Trump administration, let's talk about the stupidity for a second. Let's do the quick timeout. How many times have we seen Republicans fall for hidden camera traps or hot mic traps? You're telling me Tom Homan got caught on camera out in public taking $50,000 in cash? Did he like Scrooge McDuck it after and like slide down all like a pile of cash in public because he's such an idiot? Also, what type of person goes this far in their public corruption? I guess a member of the Trump administration, obviously. But why I felt it so important before we even got into this story, which I guess isn't shocking considering what we see every day from this administration of criminals, but sure is disgusting, is that AOC, that clip I played, was so important to me because she has been so outspoken since the beginning of this administration about what their immigration plan was going to look like, their illegal deportation agenda was going to look like. And there were so many Democratic senators who voted for the Laken Riley Act who said, maybe this immigration agenda is popular. Maybe we should just, get on board. What were you thinking? Seriously, what were you thinking? I understand like the playing politics of it from maybe someone like a Mark Kelly or a Ruben Gallego. I really don't, and it was a tremendous failure on their part. But someone like Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan, who I criticize a lot, but seriously? You voted for that? Why? Are your constituents worried about the border with Canada? Like, what are you talking about? We knew that Donald Trump would use the permission structure of the Laken Riley Act to carry out not just all of his disgusting immigration plans, but to send his mass thugs without any checks on them into our communities. Now, not to say that one is worse and that we should be fine with Donald Trump's immigration plan as long as it doesn't personally affect me, because no, of course we find it abhorrent. But what were you doing going along with it, Democrats? You knew what this was going to be. People like AOC have been working tirelessly to make Donald Trump's immigration agenda unpopular, and now it is. It is underwater. That should be the test case going forward for all conservative talking points, that we can make them unpopular if we work to. We so quickly run away. We get scared when the polling is not immediately in our favor, but that should not be the case. Democrats should work to make our agenda popular, the Republican agenda unpopular, and communicate why our policies work. Tom Homan is literally a criminal carrying out a criminal agenda, and he looks like a thumb. He looks like a damn thumb. You're telling me we can't make that ugly face the face of an ugly immigration agenda? I sure as hell think so. Why have we not tried? Why haven't we tried harder? I don't want to make this just a big criticism of Democrats, because obviously this video is about Tom Homan being a criminal, but I think it's important to talk about this. What are we doing? What are we doing that we've allowed them to get away with this? What are we doing that we haven't fought back harder against Donald Trump's disgusting immigration agenda? This is something that Democrats should be hammering all the time. This should be an issue that we want to reclaim. These are not good faith actors. They don't want an immigration. They don't want changes to our system of immigration. Do we not remember when we allowed the most conservative senators to write up this bipartisan immigration bill that Democrats were going to embrace and be like, oh, look at us. We're embracing conservative immigration policy. That'll win us the election. And not only did it not help us, of course, in 2024, but it was bad policy. And why would we do that? And they even bailed on it. It was bad policy. It was their bad policy, and they bailed. We should not be letting conservatives set the agenda for what we talk about and how we govern because we want to appeal to their voters. We should have bold structural changes we want to make to systems that are fundamentally broken in this country and present them to people because they want to hear them. I promise. Donald Trump is deeply unpopular. So are his policies. Let's talk like it. Let's talk like the criminals that they are. I promise you I'm going to on this show, and if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.